Let me ask you something. When was the last time you walked alone? No phone, no distractions, no one by your side. Just you, your steps, and the world in front of you. See, we live in because walking alone, that's not loneliness, that's power. That's where growth happens. That's where you find clarity, creativity, and confidence. If you've never embraced the power of solitude, then you've been missing out on something life-changing. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why walking alone isn't just beneficial, it's necessary. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll never look at a solo walk the same way again. When you walk alone, you remove yourself from the constant distractions of the world. No messages, no conversations, no outside opinions, just you and your thoughts. In that solitude, something powerful happens, your mind sharpens. The noise of everyday life fades. And for the first time in a long time, you can actually hear yourself think. Most people spend their days reacting. They wake up, check their phones, respond to emails, deal with problems, answer questions, and by the time the day is over, they've been pulled in 100 different directions. But when you walk alone, you take control, you decide the pace, you decide the direction, and in doing so, you train your mind to be stronger, more disciplined, and more focused. Walking alone is like a workout for your thoughts. At first, your mind might be restless, jumping from one idea to the next, but after a while, it settles. You start to process things differently. You reflect on past decisions, analyze your goals, and gain a clearer understanding of what truly matters. Without anyone else influencing your thoughts, you begin to trust your own judgment. Solitude forces you to become comfortable with yourself. A lot of people avoid being alone because it means facing their thoughts, their worries, their fears. But the truth is, that's exactly why it's so important. When you walk alone, you confront those thoughts head on, you develop mental resilience, you learn how to think independently without relying on validation from others, and over time, that kind of mental strength changes the way you carry yourself in everyday life. You become more self-assured, more decisive, more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Creativity thrives in solitude, and walking alone provides the perfect space for new ideas to emerge. When you step away from the constant input of conversations, social media, and daily responsibilities, your mind finally has room to breathe. Without the usual distractions, your thoughts begin to flow more freely, connecting in ways they wouldn't under pressure. Ideas that once felt distant or unclear suddenly start to take shape, and problems that seemed impossible to solve begin to unravel naturally. There's a reason why some of the most brilliant minds in history valued solitude. Writers, artists, scientists, and innovators all understood that creativity isn't forced, it's discovered. When you walk alone, you enter a state of mental relaxation where inspiration can strike at any moment. The rhythm of your footsteps, the fresh air, the changing scenery, all of it stimulates your brain in ways that sitting at a desk or staring at a screen never could. Thoughts that were once buried beneath daily stress rise to the surface, allowing you to see things from a fresh perspective. Without anyone else around, there's no need to filter your thoughts. You can imagine, freely explore possibilities without judgment, and allow your mind to wander in unexpected directions. Many of the greatest ideas don't come from brainstorming sessions or meetings, but from quiet moments of solitude. The mind is like a muscle, it needs space to stretch, to roam, to play with possibilities. Walking alone creates that space, allowing your subconscious to do its best work. Some of the most groundbreaking inventions, books, and works of art were born in the silence of a solitary walk. Walking alone is more than just movement, it is a journey into yourself. When you remove the distractions of conversations, notifications, and outside influences, you are left with nothing but your own thoughts. In this quiet, something profound happens. You begin to hear yourself more clearly. Questions that you've ignored for too long come to the surface. What do I really want? Am I on the right path? What am I afraid of? These questions don't always have immediate answers, but walking alone gives you the space to start searching. Most people spend their lives surrounded by noise, rarely taking the time to reflect. They go from one task to the next, constantly stimulated, never pausing to check in with themselves. But in solitude, clarity begins to emerge. You start to notice patterns in your thinking, recurring dreams and desires that may have been buried under the weight of daily responsibilities. You begin to separate your true aspirations from the expectations placed upon you by others. There is an undeniable connection between movement and self-discovery. As your body moves forward, so does your mind. Old memories resurface, past choices replay in your head, and future possibilities start to unfold. The more time you spend walking alone, the more comfortable you become with your own company. You stop seeking validation from others because you learn to trust your own instincts. You become more in tune with your emotions, more aware of your strengths, and more accepting of your weaknesses. This kind of self-awareness is rare but powerful. It gives you direction, a sense of purpose that cannot be shaken by outside opinions. You no longer feel the need to compare your journey to others because you are focused on your own path. Walking alone brings a deep sense of peace that is hard to find in the chaos of everyday life. The world is loud, filled with constant demands, endless conversations, and a never-ending stream of information. From the moment you wake up, your mind is bombarded with decisions to make, problems to solve, and expectations to meet. But when you step outside and walk alone, all of that fades into the background. The noise disappears, and for the first time in a while, you can just be. There is something therapeutic about moving at your own pace, feeling the rhythm of your footsteps, and breathing in the fresh air. Without distractions, you start to notice the small details around you, the way the wind moves through the trees, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the distant sounds of life happening all around you. These little things, often overlooked in the rush of daily life, bring a sense of calm and presence that is deeply restorative. In solitude, your mind slows down. The worries that seemed overwhelming begin to lose their grip. Problems that once felt impossible to solve become clearer when given the space to breathe. You realize that many of the stresses you carry are not as urgent as they seemed, and you begin to let go of the unnecessary weight you've been holding on to. Spending time alone in motion allows emotions to settle and thoughts to organize themselves naturally. Instead of reacting to life, you start to observe it. Instead of feeling consumed by stress, you begin to feel lighter. There is a grounding effect that comes with walking alone, a reminder that no matter how fast the world moves, you have the ability to slow down and find peace within yourself. Walking alone builds a quiet but unshakable confidence. When you walk by yourself, you rely on no one else to set the pace, choose the direction, or guide the journey. Every step is yours. Every decision is yours. And in that independence, something shifts. You begin to trust yourself more. You stop waiting for someone to lead the way because you realize you are capable of leading yourself. Many people fear being alone, not because they dislike solitude, but because they are uncomfortable with themselves. They rely on the presence of others to feel secure, to feel validated, to feel a sense of belonging. But when you walk alone, you strip all of that away. There is no one to impress, no one to seek approval from. It is just you walking your own path on your own terms. That kind of self-sufficiency builds resilience. It teaches you that you don't need a crowd to feel strong. You don't need permission to move forward. The more you embrace solitude, the more you realize how little you actually need to feel whole. You stop depending on others for motivation, for direction, for reassurance. You develop an internal strength that cannot be easily shaken. Confidence is not just about how you present yourself to the world, it is about how you feel when no one is watching. And when you become comfortable walking alone, you carry yourself differently. You no longer shrink yourself to fit into places where you don't belong. You no longer hesitate to make decisions out of fear of judgment. There is a unique power in knowing that you are enough on your own, that you can enjoy your own company, that you can trust yourself to navigate life's paths without needing a hand to hold. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, lost, or stuck, don't reach for your phone. Don't drown yourself in noise. Just step outside. Walk alone. Let your mind breathe. Let your soul reset. Because in that walk, you won't just find peace, you'll find yourself. And that is priceless. Now, go take that walk.